Hi there. Welcome to Cross-Channel Marketing Consultants. We have a really, really interesting and good podcast today. We're talking to Joeann Fossland, Coach Joeann Fossland, who works in the real estate industry primarily. Joeann has been in real estate for many years. She is a master certified coach. I mean, when she hangs up a shingle, there's something behind that. She's done a lot of training. She works with lots and lots of people to help them, pick their low-hanging fruit, work with referrals. Do networking. Joeann has a trainer with the Women's Council of Realtors. She teaches about networking and again, referrals and all kinds of other things, tech and personal development. She's also a favorite cyber grandma to a collection of munchkins in Tucson and Connecticut, and we're happy to have you with us here, Joeann.
Well, I'm delighted to be here. Thank you. Referrals are one of my favorite topics.
Yeah, they always were. And just as a note, Joeann was actually a personal coach, a business coach that who worked with me going back as far as 2005. And it was really a big aha to me. And I was already in real estate for 20 years at that point. But you kind of opened my eyes to what you call the low-hanging fruit, and the people who were in my sphere of influence, past clients, past customers who I had been neglecting in my marketing. And I think that what happens with a lot of people and real estate agents, especially, is their marketing efforts really focus on acquiring new customers, new buyers, new sellers, and after the fact, and after they've done some sales and have people in their past client list, the marketing kind of falls short there. So, why don't we talk about that a little bit? And because there are different types of referrals that agents can make and receive that adds income to their bottom line, and that's what we're talking about. It's about, growing a business, and let's talk about that. So, what are some of the ways agents can make or receive referrals that may be obvious or maybe not be so obvious?
Well, Fran, I think as you said, many people have those past customers and clients, the people that know them in their spheres of influence, and they're not really leveraging or focusing on getting the most out of those relationships. And I don't mean being obnoxious and bothering people about, do you know of anybody thinking of moving or that type of thing, but rather really having a plan and system in place so that the people they already know are going to be hearing from them on a regular basis, keeping them top of mind. I also truly believe, even though I love technology and I love the ease of which we can reach more people more regularly, I also truly believe that going to lunch, going to networking events, and seeing people one-on-one is very powerful. The thing I see many people not leveraging is getting those relationships on a regular basis deepened regularly. So it may be as easy as, inviting somebody to happy hour or coffee or going to a networking event so that you're seeing people regularly. The ways that people can get referrals are just phenomenally grand. And while it does start with the low-hanging fruit, the people you already know, there's also the people that are affiliates in the industry. So anybody like a roofer or lender or home inspection person that works in real estate, and this would be true for all other industries. So while, as you said, I specialize in the real estate industry, if anybody else is an entrepreneur, has a business, thinking about who else is interested in the same client that I'm interested in. And that can get pretty broad. It can be the mom-and-pop grocery store on the corner, or the pizza place, or the laundry or florist that's geographically located near where you are. And to build relationships with those kind of people often also comes along with maybe having a coupon from them or a deal or a special they'd be willing for you to give to the people that you know, and make it a win-win-win. So the business gets more business. They're thankful to you and likely to send you referrals, and the clients you're working with are going to benefit from having a bargain or a discount.
Yeah, I love the notion of having a plan and a system, and something that's measurable. I don't think a lot of people really measure referrals in their own business. If we take a look at the BNI network, those are people who get together with people from other businesses, where they have meetings weekly. You'll have one realtor on the group, one mortgage person, one marketing person, one person who may be a dentist, and different people from different areas. They measure referrals through the entire network. They're in 50 countries, and they've done about $2.8 billion worth of referrals among themselves, which is like the gross national product of Liechtenstein.
Yeah, and I do think that Ivan Meisner, who started that, is just a brilliant man. And what the BNI people do, I think, differently than a lot of the leads networks is they really are intentional in having that system. And I think any business that wants to grow, when you're doing your yearly business plan, that's the first part of thinking about what part of my business in this coming year is going to be generated through referrals. Is it going to be 10%? Is it going to be 50%? And then from there, you start to look at all the threads that come into that can be used and marketed to that can make a difference.
Yeah, and that's great. I was at a marketing conference in Phoenix a couple of weeks ago, and there's a fellow by the name of Gene Jackson, and another one, Joe Polish, and they talk about referrals, and they delineate it into three sections. They say there are passive referrals, and that's the referral that you have when somebody comes and says, Joanne, somebody, Joanne is selling real estate, and Hillary will come and say, Joanne, Nicole referred me to you and said you would be a great realtor. You sold her a house, blah, blah, blah. And that's a passive referral, and you didn't have to do anything to get that. And those are really, really nice to get. The second type of referral they talk about is the reactive referral, which is somebody will come to you and say, I have a friend who's moving into town. I gave them your number, here, give them a call. And that's a reactive referral. You're going to call them. You have to do something. You have to make that happen. And the third type, I think, which is the type we're talking about, they call an orchestrated referral. And again, you use the word intentional and deliberate, and that's the kind of a thing that they can, I think, weave into their business plan. Orchestrated referrals and set some goals and then set a plan about how to achieve those, because they're just amazing. I know that in outside of real estate, in other areas, the testing they're doing with referrals is showing that people are doubling and tripling their business just by putting a plan in place that orchestrates a referral sales funnel and people coming into their business that way. And I think the age of realtors right now is important too, because a lot of those are leaving the business or are they? I mean, what is the age of realtors these days, and how much is that is referral a part of that planning, do you think?
Well, I think this is another huge opportunity for active realtors right now, because the average age is 52, but there's certainly a huge wave of people that are into their 60s. They've been in business for a while. They've had past customers and clients that have been very happy with them, and they're wanting either to ramp it down a lot or just wrap it up. And most people haven't developed systems and plans and all of that, so they're in a place where they could sell their business. It does take a lot of forethought to position something so that it could be for sale. But most of those realtors, if they actively turned their referral business over to somebody that they trusted who would work that referral business for them, both people would have income. And I think the opportunities there are just huge. If a active or a retiring agent gives their database to an active agent, the possibility of maybe garnering 10 referrals, if that database is 100 people or more, is very, very good, because just in the numbers, people move on the average, they say these days, of about every 8 years. It used to be 7, but that's slowed down a little bit. But I like to just round that up and say if it's every 10 years. So if you have 100 people in your database, 10% of them are likely to need a realtor this year. So that agent's retiring. They've got 100 people that they've kept in contact with that know, like, and trust them. And instead of just kind of wrapping it up or letting people know I'm not in the business anymore and having them go fend for themselves, specifically funneling those leads to somebody they're going to partner with is a brilliant way to do it. And the active agents to look for those agents in their office or in their area that they know are thinking about retiring or working less and saying, you know, I'd love to make you some more money. How about we get together and talk and put something together so that I can service the people that you've serviced so well over time and keep them happy.
Oh, it's a great idea. Do you see many agents who are making referrals a line item in their business plan? Agents who are setting goals, yearly income and production goals that are tied to referrals?
Well, I think the top agents are doing that. As you mentioned in my introduction, I teach the Performance Management Network designation for Women's Council of Realtors, and they have a class called Referrals and Networking, and teach the agents who take that class how to include the referrals as part of their yearly business planning. And then, like you said, as a line item, anything we're doing in business planning, it's okay. Where are those clients going to come from? What actions am I going to take actively to create more leads in that area? And implementing on a consistent basis actions that are going to increase those referrals.
That's great. What do you think are the best ways that agents can use to leverage their customer base for referrals?
The consistent contact with those people in their database is important, and that, I think, works into what you were saying as kind of the passive referrals. They see that you list things in a certain price range or a certain neighborhood, and when they know of somebody that might have that need, they're going to let you know. But I also really like the client appreciation parties, other venues where I know some agents are doing a happy hour every month and inviting 6 to 8 of their past customers and clients to the happy hour. Well, over time,
great idea.
If you did that, 10 months out of the year, that's 60 people that you're inviting. So you'd rotate it. It wouldn't be the same people, but because you're seeing those people, and because I really think we don't need to bang people over the head with requests to refer to us, but we just need to remind them that we're actively in the business and actively looking for it. I also think a lot of people are getting good business if they're doing their Facebook marketing well. And it's a little trickier, but if you're using Facebook lists, it allows you to funnel out a lot of the noise and a lot of everything else that's going on with people who may, be relatives out of town and not likely to be referring somebody to you, but focus on those people who are past customers and clients or live in the neighborhood that is your niche neighborhood, and stay really connected every day, going in and commenting or liking or just reminding people you're there.
Yeah, and wouldn't it be neat if if during a transaction, I mean, as a way to double your business, you actually got a referral from somebody you're working with. I mean, that's a way to double your business. And whether you're working with somebody and they refer it, or you've just settled a transaction and you send them a customer satisfaction survey, with a request for a testimonial or a referral. That can be a way to almost double your business in a very, very easy, just natural kind of a way, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. And one of the cool things about that is that when people are actively home buying and selling, that's when they're talking to their friends about it. So it really kind of ups the odds, and they're going to find somebody because they're talking about it. And when you mentioned the surveys, I believe that is something every agent wants to do in one way or the other, because it will generate testimonials for them, but it will also generate information about what they're doing well, or if there are some things that they didn't do well or are having problems with in their systems, the surveys are going to allow them to find that out rather than just having a disgruntled customer. Back to what you said in the very beginning about low-hanging fruit. We want people's businesses not to be hard work pushing that ball up the hill, but rather the momentum of allowing it to flow downhill. And I really think when you focus on the people that already know and love you and give value to the clients that you're working with, it just happens more joyfully and easily.
Well, thank you, Joanne. I look forward to seeing you one of these days. Thanks again for sharing with us. And do you have a link? Let's see. Was there something you had a tool some time ago, I recall, and I'm going to hit you up for it here. You talked about working with your affiliate partners, and didn't you have some type of a giveaway or something in your toolbox, your coaching toolbox, that helped people kind of put that, put a plan to that?
Yes, I call it the Fabulous 50s list.
The Fabulous 50s list.
Yep, and I do have a link to it on my website, or people can email me at Joeann, Joeann, @joann.com, and I'll be happy to send them a link to it.
Terrific. And you know what I'll do? I'll make sure that I have a link to that and that information in the text below the recording. Good. I'll be happy to share that and then send that out as well.
Wonderful. Well, thank you.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you, Joanne. Have a great day. Have a lot of fun, whatever you're doing today.
I appreciate that. You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.